Hey guys, Logan Battles here, and welcome to Q&A with Logan Battles number 4. This is the fourth one that I have done so far on this channel, and it's already been over a year that I have done these Q&A videos. Crazy. But anyway, I want to tell you guys how many questions there were in my first 3 Q&A videos before we get to answering your questions. The first one that I did, I answered 11 questions. One of them, or 2 of them came from the same person, so it's like 9 people in total. The second Q&A video, I answered 15 questions. And the third one, I believe I answered 30, though I could have missed 1 or 2 that is more than 20, though I'll get to see if the number is actually 20 or more. But until then, let's get to your answers. And oh, by the way, I forgot to say how many questions there are in this Q&A video. I don't know why. 24 questions for this Q&A video, 19 of which, come from the same, or no, not 19. 19 people asked 24 questions, 2 of which asked 3 questions. And the other 2 asked 2 questions, so that makes it 4 people asking more than just 1 question. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Larry is one of 2 people who asked me 3 questions. So, what is your favorite Carrie Underwood album, favorite song from that album, and what's your favorite film from the year you were born? Ooh, to answer your first 2, it's tough for me to answer that because I basically love almost every single album and song from Carrie Underwood, but if I have to choose my favorite album and song from that album, I would have to say maybe her very first one, Some Hearts, and my favorite song from that album would probably be Before He Cheats. You cannot beat that song. If you want to listen to some really great breakup songs, no matter which genre it is, country, pop, rock, rap, whatever, I would highly recommend you listen to Carrie Underwood's Before He Cheats. Really great breakup song, and just a great song in general. And to answer your third question, Larry, what's my favorite film from the year I was born? I would probably say Independence Day, which came out in 1996, though I could have say Mission Impossible, because I think technically it's a better film to watch, but as a huge popcorn action fun film that was released from the 90s, Independence Day really fits that type of era of fun popcorn type of action film to watch. So Independence Day would be the one. Jack Benner, what's up, Jack? What's up? What are your favorite restaurants? Off the top of my head, I'm going with Little Caesars, Whataburger, Popeyes, Five Guys, Marco's, Olive Garden, Fazoli's, Bob Evans, In-N-Out Burgers, Zaxby's, sometimes KFC, and I think that's about as far as I can remember. Yeah, I think those are the names of the restaurants or food places that are my favorites to eat at, or go through the drive-thru at those places to eat. So yeah, I would say those are some of my favorite restaurants. Noel asks, how long have you been a YouTuber? 4 years currently. I will have my 5th year anniversary on YouTube by June 7th of this year, which will be really awesome. I might make a video on that, looking back, recapping my first 5 years of uploading videos to YouTube. I might do that, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm currently 4 years of being on YouTube and uploading these videos, so, and then it'll be my 5th year on June 7th, so be on the lookout. Bailey asks, what is your dream job? It used to be becoming a billionaire businessman. This was years ago. Back when I was probably in my mid-teens, probably early teens, I would say. I always dreamed about having a job of a billionaire businessman. Making billions and billions of dollars, building my own company and my own business, and use portions of my money to donate my dollars donate to charity and to good causes for humanity. Just to contribute to society and stuff like that. That was, I would have to say, my dream job at that point in my life. But that dream job of mine of becoming a billionaire businessman has died off once I got to artwork, before moving on from that and become a YouTuber and start uploading videos to YouTube, and the rest is history. So yeah, Gator asked, how did you decide what kind of videos you wanted to make? Just randomly, I would say. I used to put up schedules for videos to upload at a specific, not a specific time, but a specific date. This goes back to last year and the year before, I would say, where I put out updates or updates on the scheduled dates for some certain videos that I intend to upload on my social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, before eventually uploading those videos that I uploaded. And then most of the time I upload videos later than what I scheduled for, than what I scheduled those videos for at a specific date or on a specific date. And it got to the point where I just stopped scheduling my videos on my social media before uploading them. I just stopped putting up scheduled dates for them. So I started uploading videos randomly, or unexpectedly. Uploading videos without giving a specific date or time of when I will upload them. So randomly, I would say. Joshua asked, who are some of your favorite YouTubers? I kind of already answered that question in, I would say, my first Q&A video. I think it's in my first Q&A video. So if you want to check out my answer to that question, the notification will pop up right there. It'll take you to I'm pretty sure it was my first Q&A video where I already gave in names of certain YouTubers that are some of my favorites, I would say. So I would say go check it out, or go check out my answer to that question. Cameron asked, Super Bowl predictions for next season. Okay, so we're now into this NFL off season. And then we're looking forward to next season, if this outbreak dies out, or slows down rather. For the AFC, I'm not going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs, because that would be an obvious pick to make for next year's Super Bowl, which will take place in Tampa. Now, I'm going to go with your Baltimore Ravens. I believe this will be a different year for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't believe that this will be a third year in which they wilt beneath the pressure or fell within the playoffs, or lose in the playoffs. No, I believe this is the year where they actually go to the Super Bowl. Represent the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. And then for the NFC, I want to say New Orleans, but these past 3 years they have not been able to represent the NFC to go to the Super Bowl. They either have Minnesota upset them with a big game-winning touchdown reception, or whether if it's by a field goal or anything else. I'm going to have to go with the 49ers. Even without their one of their wide receivers, Emmanuel Sanders, being released and then then being picked up by New Orleans. I'm still going to go with the 49ers because they still have an elite receiving core, great tight end in George Kittle, great defensive line, great secondary, and an impressive, brilliant play caller in Kyle Shanahan as the head coach for the 49ers. So I would say my Super Bowl picks would be the 49ers and the Ravens in Super Bowl 55, I believe, which will be the Super Bowl rematch to the 2012 Super Bowl, I believe, between the Ravens and the 49ers, where the Ravens beat the 49ers. So, but those are my picks, I would say. Ravens versus 49ers for next year's Super Bowl. Leah asked, how are you feeling about isolating at home for weeks? I kind of like it. I really like it. I mean, I have been isolating at home for long before this coronavirus, came along and started spreading globally. I always love staying at home and do nothing but shoot, edit, and then upload videos to YouTube. And maybe one thing or two, probably play video games or watch certain videos on YouTube, but that's about it. As well as, getting something to eat, because you always have to eat at some point during a day. I always like to be a stay-at-home YouTuber. I guess you could say that. I think I'm doing very well with isolating at home, I would say. Taylor asked, are you nervous about the coronavirus? I would say so. I would say that I'm kind of nervous about the coronavirus, especially with how many cases there are, and more specifically, the deaths that are now being contributed to this virus. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, we already have like over 100,000 cases so far with the coronavirus cases, and more than 1,000, at least here in the United States, are confirmed deaths from this virus. So, yeah, I would say I'm nervous about it, only from the standpoint that there's no vaccine as of yet to, at least slow this virus down, and not finding or not having enough time to, confront this coronavirus if you don't have a great immune system, at least from what I heard. Although it causes a lot of respiratory issues and other complications to your inner body and stuff like that. So from that standpoint, I'm nervous, but I am optimistic about this virus, at some point stop spreading. I believe it'll get mutated to the point where it just suddenly dispersed, or it just stops at some point. That's what I think will happen, and I hope it happens, but it might happen much sooner than later, but we'll see. Arturo asked, do you prefer watching films at home or the theater, and why? Okay, so I would say for the most part at theaters, only because there are a lot more movies that are worth seeing on the big screen than there are movies that you can easily watch at home on your couch and on your TV. Certain movies that are not highly anticipated, that you're not fully excited for, and ones that you can kind of give it a try and see if you kind of enjoyed it or not, and whether or not if it's worth a watch or not. There are certain movies like that, but with movies like Wonder Woman 1984, No Time to Die, Tenet, Christopher Nolan's upcoming film, and Top Gun and Soul, Disney Pixar's upcoming film, animated film Soul. Movies like them, they're not really worth watching on your TV at home in theaters. But they're big movies that are much more worthy of being seen up on the big screen. So from that perspective alone, I would prefer seeing movies in theaters rather than watching movies at home, because there's a lot of big movies, especially considering how much budget it is and how much money has been put to that particular film, and how much well-known cast there is, and just the people behind certain film projects that are ones that people are excited to see and wanted to see in theaters. From that, I would say I prefer seeing a movie in theaters over watching a movie at home. Mark asks, how are you holding up throughout these past couple of weeks? Hope you are doing well. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well, because I'm holding up very well, 100%. I'm doing very well. I mean, but not much is happening, although there have been cases confirmed to the place that I'm living in right now. Just certain parts around where I live starting to have confirmed coronavirus cases going on. But I am doing very well. I'm only outside of the house to get something to eat and other stuff that I guess you could say is allowed to be get outside of the house. So right now I'm holding up very well. Hunter asks, do you play video games? If so, how often? What console and what games? Yes, I do play video games from time to time. And the games that I play on PS4, what console I play is PS4. And the games that I play on PS4, I used to play Mad Max, the game Mad Max, not the movie, the game Mad Max. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I originally planned on doing a video game review for that as soon as I was done playing that game, but I might not plan on doing that after it's been a few months since it was released back in November of last year. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I recently finished playing, and what else? Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man. I love playing that. Batman, Arkham Asylum, or no, not Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight. I love playing that. And I think that's about as far as I can remember. There's a lot more PS4 games that I played over these past few years, but right now those names that I gave you are as far as I can remember at this point. So those are the games that I love to play on PS4. Jared asks, what's the most horrifying film you've ever seen? This is a tough question because a lot of the horror films that I've watched usually tend to be horrifying, especially ones from the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s and stuff like that. Sometimes in the 2000s or 2010s. But I would say the most horrifying film that I have seen would probably be Ridley Scott's 1979 horror sci-fi film, Alien, especially for one reason and one reason only. That one scene where you saw this guy trying to get his cat, and then you see the xenomorph coming down on the ground behind him, and you see the cat looking at him, and then the man turns around and looks at the xenomorph, and the xenomorph gets that thingy out of his mouth and kills the man and starts grabbing him from the air. That scene is terrifying. It gives me chills every time I watch that scene, as well as that overall movie. So I would say Ridley Scott's Alien from 1979 would probably be the most horrifying film I have seen, only because of that scene that I was talking about. Justin asked, "What film were you most disappointed about that got canceled?" I don't know if I guess you could say I was disappointed in Wonder Woman 1984 being canceled, because I love the first Wonder Woman film, and I love Patty Jenkins as the director for that film and what she did with it. I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and I was so excited for Wonder Woman 1984 to come out. And it's one of the fewest movies that I would be deeply disappointed if it got delayed for whatever for any case may be, whether if it's the coronavirus or some reshoots that need to be done, or whatever the case may be. It's Wonder Woman 1984 is one of those films that I'm disappointed that got canceled due to coronavirus outbreak. But I can understand why. I want everybody to be saved from being infected with the coronavirus. I want everybody to do well and to stay well at home and not do much activity that could lead them to being diagnosed with this virus that is continuously spreading globally. So I can understand them having to delay or push back Wonder Woman 1984 to August 14th, which is what they announced recently. And so, yeah, I can understand that, but still I was disappointed. Joshua asked me 3 questions, so that makes him the second person in this Q&A video to ask me 3 questions. Anyway, he asked, what are your favorite film genres? What's your favorite film decade? If you were to collaborate with any YouTuber, who would it be? Some of my favorite film genres would have to be action, sci-fi, thrillers, animated, sometimes fantasy, I would say, and also sometimes horror. But the one movie genre that I am that I am 100% a fan of is action. I just love watching action movies. I'm always amped up whenever I see some action scene pop up or happen. It entertains me every time it happens. I always want to see a lot of kick-ass fight scenes or some chase scenes or anything that involves action. I love it. So action is my most favorite. Tatum asks, what are you passionate about? Well, there's a lot of things that I am passionate for. Lots of things, more than I can even count. But I'm passionate for life. I'm passionate for a lot of things that are good in this world. I'm passionate about football, which I love. It's one of my biggest passions. Even though I don't play football, I watch it. I'm passionate about movies, which I continuously review to this day. I'm passionate about uploading videos to YouTube. It's one of my, I consider it, I don't know, a therapy of some sorts, but more so a hobby, and stuff like that. I'm passionate for energy. I'm passionate for self-improvement, trying to make myself better, trying to better myself and figure out ways to get better and stuff like that. I'm passionate for being entertaining, trying to entertain a lot of people and make their days better by making them laugh or smile. I'm passionate for, doing a lot of activities, doing a lot of exercise. I'm passionate for doing that. I'm passionate for making people better, making people feel motivated, making them feel inspired, make them feel passionate about what they love in life. I'm passionate about, caring for people, making people not feel like they're less than others. I'm passionate about sorry, the camera cut off. I'm passionate for basically almost everything that I cared about in life. Things that make us who we really are as human beings, who we are in the brightest light instead of in the darkest realms, the darkest places, with nothing but anger and grief and suffering. I'm all about the opposite. So that's what I'm really passionate about. Aubrey asks, compare living in Florida to Texas. What's your favorite thing about both? Well, it's hard to say because I love both of those states. One that I used to live in and the other that I'm currently living in. The things that I love about here in Florida, one of them I would say is riding on boats, riding on the boat, out on the water. I always, enjoy being out on a boat, sit on a chair, and look at the whole entire water surrounding me, and my father who loves driving out on a boat. Just driving on a boat on a body of water in a lake or a bay or whatever it is. I love being out on a boat, and it's one of the biggest reasons why I love Florida. And one of the biggest reasons that I love about Texas, it's hard to say actually, because there's a lot of things that I love about Texas, but I would have to say the one thing would probably be, just the southern, cowboy type of aspect that it has, being the Lone Star State and being what it really is, and riding on horses and stuff like that, which I actually used to ride, by the way. I actually did that here in Florida, not in Texas. I think, I'm not sure, but anyway, just what Texas really is and what it stands for, and the people within that state, and just almost everything about it I love. But what it really is and what it represents, just the things that I like, and the topics that I cared about, really resonates with people such as myself, and stuff like that. So, I would say that. Taylor asked me 2 questions, making her the second person to ask me 2 questions. What made you decide to become a YouTuber? And what made you decide to review movies? I think that's a very helpful topic. I would agree, Taylor. You're absolutely right. It is a helpful topic. I actually answered both of those questions, believe it or not, in either, I would say, my last Q&A video and my second Q&A video for both of those questions. So if you want to check it out, there's an iNotification for one of my Q&A videos where I answered what made me decide to do movie reviews, and then another one being what is it that you asked? I forgot. What made me decide to become a YouTuber? I also answered that in, I believe it was my second Q&A video, if I'm not mistaken. So you can also check that one out. An iNotification is popping up right there for you to click on. So I already answered both of those questions in my last 2 Q&A videos. And last but certainly not least, Marion asked, what's your favorite color? My favorite color is blue. I love blue. It's one of my it's one of my, it's one of, if not my favorite color of all time. I love blue being associated with a majority of things of interest that I have in a lot of things here in our culture, whether it's entertainment or movies or anything else in general, or music in general, anything. I like the water being blue. It always looks fantastic. I love the sky being blue. It's very fantastic. And I like a lot of things blue, basically. I'm more of a blue type of guy. So, yeah, I would have to say my favorite color is blue. So there you have it, folks. Those are all the questions for Q&A with Logan Battles number 4. I'm sorry that this is a very long Q&A video. I didn't intend for this to be this long, but, you know, it is what it is. So, anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my answers to these questions. And if you have any questions, any other further questions for me, you can put them down in the comments section below, and I'll be more than willing to answer them for you. So yeah. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it that like button to click, and if you'd like to see future videos from me, make sure to press up there to subscribe, and don't forget to turn on that bell icon so that you'll get notified about my latest videos. Have a great day, and as always, fight the good fight.